Happy today. I am William Brown. I am WilliamBrown.com, and I am still fighting with my technology. So I am going to be moving some things around so it works. And as you can see, I am back to my headphones because my it's so cold out here. I'm back to my headphones because right before, hopefully that wasn't too disgusting. Right before I started the show, my mic wasn't working, uh, and I got up just in time um, to be here. It's the wonderful thing about it is it feels like I got a lot more sleep than I am typically getting, and I woke up just right before the alarm and all that other kind of stuff, but still moving slow. So yeah, so I guess it's gonna be one of those days. So if you are on, uh, I love for you to say hi, good morning, tell me if you can hear me. Okay. Give me a little heart and all that other kind of stuff if you can hear me. That would be great. I am going to pick um, a card live. Usually, like I said, I'm like here. I am, I feel like an orange I am card today. So the orange I am card is I am seen. I am seen. I pulled this recently before, and there was a question about it's like good news, bad news. I am seen. I want to be seen and I don't want to be seen. But today is I think it's good because I feel like I can. That's a good for me thing to do today because I'm deciding to show up. Even late, beyond behind my schedule, all that other kind of stuff. I am still going to show up um, because I am seeing the uh, the word today on One Word Conversation is Dharma, um, and Dharma. There's a lot of different. It's kind of interesting. The reason why I picked this word or that word um, is because I'm curious. I want to learn more about words that are popping up and things that are part of this side of my journey, and I think a large part of my self discovery journey is spiritual journey, and because I believe there's a lot of people who question it, but I believe that the my Christian label is just that, a label. So I am my Christian label, and I'm not my Christian label. So I am able to um, explore words that don't have an origin within my Christian label and be okay and just kind of listen and just kind of go from there. But Dharma, from my understanding, my little understanding of it, is reality, a sense of reality, or an acceptance of reality, um, a true reality. And that is something that I want um, to stay present to. Even the reality that I don't understand or appreciate. Um, I actually do believe that a lot of the challenges, a lot of the trauma that is happening in our government, in our society, um, is the fact that there is an acknowledgement of multiple realities. There's not one reality. There are multiple realities, and people are um, operating from their reality. Um, what I'm present to is that when I was a kid, um, I used housing as a way to gauge my reality. You know, I grew up in the projects. I grew up in the inner city of Pittsburgh, and so there was a large part of living in the projects that was my reality. So there was this sense that everyone that lived in the projects had a reality, and everybody that lived in um, single parent, single family homes, single family homes had another reality. In my little kid mind was it was a better reality. Um, and you know, I realized very quickly the more that I met with befriended people that had quote unquote homes, the only difference of their reality was sometimes they had nicer stuff, um, they had more stuff, they probably paid more for their stuff, right? You know, had a larger, you know, mortgage bill and all that other kind of stuff. You know, the one thing that just came to mind for me, and it's very interesting. But as a kid, I had no appreciation or understanding of apartments. It was either you lived in a house, a small house, or a big house, or you lived in a projects. Apartments didn't exist, and I'm sure there are apartments when I was a kid, but I had no awareness, you know, of it. I knew no one. There was no one in my surroundings that lived in an apartment, and so that is just kind of that is just kind of interesting. So to have a conversation around Dharma, have a conversation around reality and what is reality and how I relate to reality is the conversation that I'm going to be having today. Um, the the one thing that really showed up for me um, this morning when I was waking up was my conversation that I had with Grace. I think it was last Friday about positive, um, and and it was very clearly that, um, like I said, there's a lot of things that are going on in my life, and there's you know, a lot of reflecting and a lot of things that are going on that, you know, can be seen as positive or negative. And within that conversation, there was an understanding that all positive is adding something, right? You adding something to it. So you have a situation and you add something to it, and what you add to it makes it positive. So you add, so let's say a difficult situation, um, and you add happy to it, right? Um, you add hope to it, you add faith to it, and now it becomes positive. Whatever that situation is, you add, um, and then you for to make it negative, you take something away. So um, and so whatever it is, and so it goes. I think it goes clearly to what the word of the day is. The word of the day is the word of the conversation today is Dharma, and so that's reality, right? So whatever my sense of reality, Am I going to add something or am I going to take something away to make it positive or negative? But first, I have to accept, I have to acknowledge reality, the reality of it. There has to be a baseline to it. Um, and and I think, as I mentioned, there's a number of challenges that we're experiencing in our life, in our society, and in our government right now. Is the not accepting reality, or having multiple realities and trying to communicate and trying to move on from there. So, um, yeah, so we can't say, well, we can, but things, we can't really have a reality that is positive or negative if we don't accept or acknowledge the reality. Um, and so, um, accepting the reality. So, I don't know why this is coming up, so I'll just say it. Um, like if you have an interaction with someone and you say that this person is a jerk, so that's reality. That's um, this person is a jerk. I believe that's not the reality. That's a judgment. And so the reality is that you have a human being that's experiencing, something, and he or she is showing up as a jerk. And so now you have a choice to add or subtract from there. And it's like, wow, it's just really, it's, it's, it's like it's a practical thing that how can I acknowledge or accept reality without judgment? That allows me to add or subtract something from it. Um, hmm, because I will be seen, because I am seen. I spend more time, and I think that is the challenge that I have, that I have been having with how reality is showing up or how being present is showing up for me is I still spend more time judging what I'm present to than experiencing um, being present. And so the more that I acknowledge, the more that I embrace um, whatever I'm present to, and then make choices of um, if I'm gonna add to it or subtract from it. um, and I think the judgment is the key to what am I going to do next? What am I going to do? Am I going to add? How am I going to see this? How life is occurring to me will determine if I am going to make it positive or negative. Wow. So I think it really comes back to it is the world. Is there something going to happen to me or for me? Is the world happening? Is things happening to me or for me? That simple but not easy way of looking at the world will cause me to see the world as positive or negative. There could be a lot of difficult things that happen in my life, the things that I didn't understand that I can see it now. There is times where I feel that it takes time for you to see something positive. So it's like something terrible happens, like you break your arm. I don't know why. I've never broke my arm, but that's what's coming up. You break your arm, and the first thing is, well, that's horrible. You broke your arm, and over time, the lessons that you learn, the things that you learn. We can say, oh, me breaking my arm was positive. This was positive because I have this, all that kind of stuff. Um, and I think that you breaking your arm, it could be positive right then, even before the lesson. If we choose to see the positive right then, we might not understand. It might be faith. The positive would be, crap, I broke my arm, but I believe that this is going to teach me something about myself. So I can be a better person. It can slow myself down. So I can do that right away. Um, and Yeah, so time has nothing to do with it. Time is also, as they say, relative, and there's a judgment. There's a judgment a part of that. And it's so difficult for me to acknowledge that um, the judgments that I have about myself and the judgment that I have about the reality, the dharma that I see, um, will cause me to suffer or not suffer. It's like, I don't know, it's like, yikes. It's like we create our own world, we create our reality. Um, it's like the power within that. I think there is a level of really accepting that, appreciating that, being grateful for that. I am grateful that I get an opportunity to see the world differently, to see the world, um, to see my life as a benefit, to see my struggles, to see my strengths, to see my weaknesses as a benefit to me. Wow, there's a level of gratitude with that. So I think that brings me to my prayer. So as this day continues, it is my prayer that we discover ways to accept, embrace the reality, um, so we can have lessons. So, so we can see the benefit, so we can be grateful for everything that happens in our lives, because everything happens. Um, I don't say for our good, but everything happens as a way for us to show up in our lives. The conversation that I had yesterday, I think it was yesterday, um, consistency. Consistency is just a mirror. What we do consistently is just a mirror. It's just a mirror of how we're showing up. It's nothing more than that. And the more that we embrace that, what we see in the mirror. I know about you, but sometimes when I look in the mirror, I'm looking for things that are not right. I'm looking for the wrong. It's like I'm scanning my body. I'm scanning my face for pimples and blemishes and all those things um, that make me feel less than. But if I, oh, this is what's come up for me, and I will look in the mirror. Maybe you'll look in the mirror differently. What I see in the mirror is an indication of what I am consistently doing and not doing to take care of my body. Boom for me. That's all it is. That's all it is. And now I have a choice. Wow. So, yes, I will be in the mirror as a reminder to what I'm consistently doing or not doing to take care of my body. Hmm. Wow. So, I invite you to join me later today at 11 a.m. for One Word Conversations as we look at Dharma, as we look at reality, as we look at how we are seeing the world with no judgment. Because if we see the world, then we can make changes. Mm. Have a blessed rest of your day, my friends. I'll see you at 11.